Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Nkenna. I am responsible for everything that goes on here. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me. And also, you guys can follow me on Instagram. That's where you're gonna find me 99.9999% of the time if I'm not on here. As you guys can tell from the title of today's video, I am gonna be talking about the Hesi A2. If you guys don't know, the Hesi A2 is an admissions entrance exam. You take it for nursing school. It's required by certain nursing schools. For me personally, out of the 12 schools that I applied to, I only needed it for 2 schools. So going ahead and getting into the specifics of the exam, the 2 schools that I applied to, they did not say that there was a minimum score requirement that they wanted for the Hesi A2 exam. However, it was the only test that they did require. The rest of the schools did require the ATITs, and I'll make sure to do a video on that so you guys can compare and contrast if you end up having to take both. They do it on a point scale, so essentially you can think of it like grades. Like if you get in the 80s, that's a B, the 90s, that's an A, so on and so forth. And I ended up just studying a week because I had prepared so much for the T's that I looked over the material. I just kind of glazed over it, did some practice tests, and I was like, this is pretty similar. So I ended up in total studying for 1 week for my Hesi. However, I would definitely say look over the material, study longer if you feel like it. But I mean, at that point, I had already been studying for about a 3 to 4 month time period. In terms of the whole scoring of the exam, in the science section, I scored an 89, and then the rest of the exam, I scored in the high 90s. So each section you will get an individual score, and then you will overall get 1 score for the exam. For me, the schools that I applied to, they ended up picking the sections that they wanted to take, and fortunately for me, it coincided what sections I needed for both schools, so I didn't end up having to take 2 separate ones. This is something that I want to say, make sure that you are taking the right sections for the school, because I went on the website, read through a PDF of like the whole application process. They said if you had taken any additional sections or if you took all the sections, they would not count it. You had to use their university specific code and take that exam that they had tailored to that code. That's all that they would accept. In total, there are 8 categories on the Hesi A2 exam. Once again, you may not be taking all 8 categories. I'm not sure if this cost is consistent, but it was $107, so that's just something to keep in mind. Budget for that if you do have to take the exam. I didn't have a formal study guide. I didn't buy a book. I just used apps, and then also I did some practice tests that I found online. As I said, I took the exam in January, so I already had microbiology and anatomy and physiology 2 in progress. Something that I would definitely say is, if you can, go ahead and take those 2 classes. Make sure that you're finished with all your prerequisites and then go ahead and take the exam. I think you'll have a much better success rate. But for me, I still did very, very well, even though I had the classes in progress. I wanted to take the exam again to see if I could get a perfect score, but I ended up working the weekend right before the application closed and right before I could take my last Hesi. So it just didn't work out, and I was happy with my first score. However, I did want to see if I could get a perfect score. So definitely give yourself enough time that if you need to retake it, you can. For the exam that I took, the sections that I had were grammar, reading comprehension, basic math, and anatomy and physiology. I ended up taking the exam at a Prometric center. I believe that's the only place that you can take the exam. It is a timed exam, so keep that in mind. If you have testing anxiety or if you don't do well with timed tests, then you want to make sure that you're doing enough practice tests to kind of get in the habit and get the feel of how it's going to be on test day. In total, I did, I believe, 3 to 4 practice exams before my exam. Overall, in my opinion, I think that the Hesi was a lot easier than the T's, like a lot easier. I took it on a Saturday afternoon, and I believe they give you 4 hours to take it, and I used 2.5 hours. It's not a group exam that you wait to be dismissed. It's on a computer. Once you're finished, you can leave. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I hope this gives you guys a good idea of the Hesi A2 exam. If you do have to take it, if you're applying this next coming application cycle, just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect going into the exam. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys found this helpful, definitely give this a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely leave them down below and I'll get back to you guys at my earliest convenience. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
I just wanna love you, just to make you smile, that's the motive. Just to make